As we continue with our sound bites and YouTube videos on values, we've understood that values are fundamental beliefs. Now, what is governing these fundamental beliefs is that what is the right thing to do, what is good to do, what is fair and just. Those are the three things that perhaps govern our values in one form or the other. In other words, we're constantly trying to weigh in what is right versus what is wrong. So there has to be some standards for that. Um, Let us understand it from what standards are they trying to define values. Number one, yes, it has to be acceptable, but acceptable standards that govern the behaviors of people in an organization becomes organizational values. Now, coming to the point in which you take an action and then you create a certain behavior, how exactly do values play a role is that the kind of beliefs that actually set the kind of almost universal expectations for certain behaviors in the organization defines the organizational values. Values can be both physical values, actually, values are of three kinds: organizational values as well as psychological values. Now, for physical values, what we're trying to do is make the optimum use of resources happen within the organization. It could be different things for different organizations. Cleanliness can be a value, but another organization can use reliability as their value, quality as a value, safety, orderliness, and the precedence of some of these values, one over the other, could be with the nature of business that they're involved in. Healthcare facilities, cleanliness, top, safety, top, that kind of thing. And then again, energy kind of organizations, safety could be top. So once again, you can definitely reprioritize these physical values. When it comes to organizational values, typically, no matter what the nature of the organization is, standardization is very important. We have to be definitely consistent with it. It can be different things for different people, especially when it comes to communication. And then cooperation, that's common for all organizations. Coordination. So standardization is the number one thing for all of these. When it comes to psychological values, the number one thing that has been noticed in most corporate organizations is that creativity. With it comes innovation. But there are other things in psychological values, that is loyalty, integrity, respect, service, and these you can keep adding to these psychological values depending again on the needs and the direction in which the organization is proceeding in terms of their projects and stuff. The impact of values on an organization is in the kind of policies that they've been formulating, in the kind of procedures, in the compensation structures, in the practices, in how you evaluate the performance of employees. Now, it has to be very explicit of the philosophy that the organization is using for conducting their business, and it has to be in alignment with the company's mission, which is their day-to-day activities, and then the vision, the ultimate goal that it is trying to achieve. Values are the foundation of everything that happens in any organization. Largely, what governs the actions in an organization is values. The guidelines, the norms, and the interactions in the organization are all definitely based out of these value systems. Now, whether where does it start? Basically, values are like the nutrition or the compost that enables, for instance, plants to grow, or for us to exist. We need to have nutrition in our body, right? Pretty much the same in an organization, whether it be the vision or the mission statement. These are all governed by value systems. How did you come up with this mission statement? We need to think of the value systems. Likewise, the objectives, when we are writing down the objectives of any project or any program, you need to refer to the value system. Policies and procedures, we've discussed that before. Customer needs, customer satisfaction, all of that comes from understanding values. And ultimately, the goal of having neat values is to get competitive advantage over your competitors in the industry. Now, let us understand how it impacts strategy. Strategy is used in policy, it's used in planning, it's used in the operation of the business or even the implementation of the strategies. Ultimately, assessing all the things that have been performed, like in performance assessment in employees and in work, in any kind of process improvements or any improvements to our strategy, and then conducting a management review. All of this are coming as in the form of a cycle while you're implementing strategies, and all of them depend on values. So ultimately, imagine an like a funnel. What goes into the funnel or what comes out of the funnel is results, the impact that you make as an organization in the communities that you're serving or globally, depending on what other sets of nations that you're serving. You're creating an impact. But what are the things that you're going to put inside this funnel? Because this funnel also is like mixing of several things. So at the